I didn't correct my coworkers when they assumed I was the assistant. It was my first day at the new company. I'd just acquired the entire firm 3 weeks ago. Nobody knew what the new owner looked like. They only knew a name on paperwork. I walked into the office at 8:45 inches the morning wearing a simple blouse and slacks. Nothing flashy. I wanted to see how things really operated before anyone knew who I was. The receptionist barely looked up. Conference room B. Coffee orders are on the desk. Make sure Mr. Ridley gets his with oat milk. I blinked. Excuse me? She finally glanced at me. You're the new temp, right? From the agency? Mr. Ridley's assistant called out sick. You're covering. I should have corrected her right then. Instead, I just nodded. Conference room B was already filling up with executives. I recognized faces from the org charts I'd studied. The CFO, the head of marketing, regional directors. Mr. Ridley walked in last. Tall guy, expensive suit. He looked at me and snapped his fingers. Coffee, now, and take notes during the meeting. Try to keep up. I grabbed a notepad and sat in the corner. For the next hour, I watched everything. Ridley interrupted every woman who tried to speak. He took credit for a campaign idea that clearly came from the junior marketing manager. He made a joke about the company's new owner probably being some trust fund kid who'd run the place into the ground within 6 months. Everyone laughed nervously. I kept writing. After the meeting, Ridley handed me a stack of folders. File these, alphabetically, and get my lunch order in by 11:30. I don't like waiting. I spent the rest of the morning filing papers and fetching coffee, but I also spent it listening. The way Ridley spoke to the female employees versus the male ones. The complaints people whispered when they thought no one important was around. The corners being cut. The harassment reports that mysteriously disappeared. At lunch, I sat in the break room. A woman named Carla sat next to me. First day? She asked. Yeah, let me give you some advice. Keep your head down around Ridley. He's got a temper. Last assistant quit after 3 weeks. The one before that filed a complaint and got transferred to the basement office. I nodded slowly. Has anyone reported him to the owner? Carla laughed bitterly. The owner? Nobody even knows who bought us. Some corporation. They probably don't care as long as the numbers look good. Around 2 p.m., Ridley called me into his office. He leaned back in his chair and looked me up and down in a way that made my skin crawl. You're doing all right for a temp. Maybe I'll request you permanently. He smiled. If you play your cards right. I just stared at him. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his face went pale. What's wrong? I asked. The new owner is coming in today, right now. He jumped up and started straightening his desk. Why didn't anyone tell me? Get out there and make sure the conference room is ready. Fresh coffee. The good cups. Move. I walked out slowly. 15 minutes later, the entire executive team was assembled in the main conference room. Ridley was sweating through his expensive shirt. Everyone kept glancing at the door. I walked in and sat at the head of the table. Ridley stared at me. What are you doing? That seat is for the owner. I know. The room went dead silent. I pulled out my notepad from the morning meeting, the one where I'd written down every inappropriate comment, every stolen idea, every red flag. My name is Victoria Hale. I purchased this company 3 weeks ago. I've spent today watching how you operate when you think nobody important is looking. Ridley's face went from confused to terrified in about 2 seconds. I looked directly at him. Mr. Ridley, you're terminated effective immediately. Security will escort you out. Your severance package will reflect the multiple HR violations I personally witnessed today. He opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out. I turned to the rest of the room. For everyone else, we're going to have some changes around here, starting with how we treat every single employee, regardless of their title. Carla from the break room was standing in the doorway. Her jaw was on the floor. I smiled at her. I think you'd make an excellent new head of operations. If you're interested. Ridley was still sputtering as security walked him out. I kept his coffee mug as a reminder. It said, "World's Best Boss."